Have you ever driven through a totally normal, middle-class neighborhood? Past those simple red brick houses with neatly trimmed lawns that don't scream for attention? And wondered, which one of these people is actually sitting on millions of dollars? The truth is, real millionaires don't look like the stuff you see in Hollywood movies or flashy rap music videos. They aren't rocking giant gold chains, they aren't stepping out of supercars with butterfly doors, and they definitely aren't posting photos of stacks of cash on social media. In the financial world, we call them the millionaire next door. They choose a lifestyle known as stealth wealth. Why do they do it? Why hide when you have enough money to buy your own island? Because they understand the ultimate rule of the money game. Flashiness is the #1 enemy of freedom. The second you let the world know exactly how much cash you have, you start losing control of your life to other people's expectations, jealousy, and pointless bills. My name is Max. I'm not here to teach you how to look rich. I'm here to show you how to actually become wealthy, quietly. Today, I'm going to break down 14 smart strategies to build your financial empire in the shadows. Hit that subscribe button because your journey to total freedom starts right now. Let's start with the biggest wall between you and wealth. You. Most of us are world-class liars when we promise ourselves, I'm definitely saving this month. But what actually happens? By the end of the month, after paying rent, utilities, food, grabbing drinks with friends, and buying random stuff on TikTok Shop, your balance is down to a few pennies. You tell yourself, whatever, maybe next month. This isn't a character flaw or laziness. It's a behavioral psychology phenomenon called decision fatigue. According to a survey conducted by Sheena Iyengar of Columbia University, the average American makes approximately 70 conscious decisions per day. By the end of a workday, your willpower reservoir is like a phone battery sitting at 1%. When an exhausted brain has to choose between saving $200 for when I'm 60 or buying that new game console right now, it's always going to pick the instant reward to make up for the exhaustion. Imagine you have 2 bank accounts. Account A is where your paycheck lands. Account B is an anonymous investment account where you never keep the debit card in your wallet. If you wait until the end of the month to move money from A to B, the odds of you actually doing it are less than 5%. But if you set up an automatic transfer that happens at 8 a.m. on payday, your success rate is 100%. The money vanishes before you even feel it in your pocket. By automating, you've put wealth building on the same level as rent or electricity. Stuff you have to pay whether you want to or not. You are practicing the pay yourself first rule. You are paying your future self before you pay anyone else, like the landlord, the phone company, or the coffee shop. This is the first brick in building invisible wealth because even you don't see that money in your daily spending budget anymore. You learn to live on the rest, and that becomes your normal standard of living. There's a famous saying among the quiet elite, money talks, but wealth whispers. When you get a big year-end bonus or a promotion with a massive pay jump, your instinct is to share that win with everyone. You want the world to know that the late nights and hard work finally paid off in big numbers. But be careful, because this is where you enter the danger zone. The moment you blab about a specific number, you've accidentally painted a giant bullseye on your back. You brag to your close friend group that you just closed a deal worth $50,000. Immediately, they'll start looking at you through a new lens. Oh, he's rich now. He's definitely covering the tab tonight. Or worse, long-lost relatives suddenly pop up with a sob story to ask for a loan. Financial transparency in personal relationships often leads to a psychological burden called abaki, expectation pressure. When people know you have cash, they subconsciously change how they act around you. You're no longer treated based on your personality, but on your ability to pay. Keeping your income private helps you maintain genuine, equal relationships. Staying quiet also helps you avoid envy, one of the nastiest emotions that can wreck even the strongest social bonds. Remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation of your personal balance sheet. We're living in the show and tell era. If you go on vacation and don't post a pic, did the trip even happen? If you don't snap a photo of your new car, are you even successful? Social media is the most effective money grinder ever invented. It creates a toxic psychological phenomenon called upward social comparison. You scroll through your feed and see an old friend posting a photo at a 5-star resort in the Maldives. Suddenly, your dopamine system freaks out. My life is boring, I need to do something fancy too. And just like that, you swipe your credit card for an experience you can't actually afford just to trade it for a few likes. Look at 2 opposite profiles. One is full of photos showing off Hermes bags and Michelin-starred dinners, but in reality, they're drowning in debt because every cent went into maintaining the image. The other person only posts photos of forest hikes, home-cooked meals, or simple moments with family. But they're quietly stashing away $3,000 a month into investment funds. When you stop performing on social media, you cut off the supply line to your ego. You no longer feel the pressure to buy stuff you don't need to impress people you don't even like. This is the most effective way to build invisible wealth. Remove the audience, and your need to show off will vanish. Real freedom is being able to enjoy a great meal or a beautiful trip without needing anyone on the internet to validate it. In 2025, the average monthly payment on financed new vehicles in the United States averaged $722, which translates to roughly $8,664 per year, up 2.4% from the prior year, before surging to an all-time high of $767, according to Experian's Q4 2025 State of the Automotive Finance Market Report, or $772 per Edmunds, as Americans continued to finance record loan amounts amid elevated vehicle prices and interest rates. Why do people fall for this trap? Because cars are the most obvious mobile status symbol. It's the first thing people see when you pull into the office parking lot or park in the driveway. But quiet millionaires know a simple truth. A car is just a transportation tool, nothing more. Let's do the math. Person A buys a brand new BMW for $70,000, paying $1,300 a month. After 5 years, the car is worth $30,000, and they've lost tens of thousands in interest. Person B buys a used Honda CR-V for $18,000 cash. That $1,300 a month they would have spent on a loan gets funneled into the stock market. After 5 years, Person B's car still runs great, and their investment account has grown to over $90,000. A car is a classic liability. By driving a normal, reliable car and keeping it as long as possible, 8 to 12 years, you are quietly redirecting cash flow from consumption to accumulation. Neighbors might think you're struggling because you don't upgrade, but your portfolio is actually growing exponentially. Let them keep the appearance. You keep the freedom. Just like cars, a house is often seen as the business card for success. The advice, buy the most house you can afford, is one of the worst pieces of advice in financial history. When you buy a house that's too big, you're not just paying more in mortgage principal and interest. You're accidentally triggering a massive chain of satellite costs. Higher property taxes, pricier insurance, skyrocketing utility bills, and especially the cost of filling up empty rooms with high-end furniture to match the vibe. This is called the Diderot effect, where owning one luxury item creates pressure to buy more fancy stuff to stay consistent. A couple makes $180,000 a year. They qualify for $1 million mansion. Instead, they choose a modest townhouse for $450,000 in a quiet neighborhood. As a result, their housing costs are only 12% of their income instead of 40%. That massive difference gets dumped into income-producing assets like rentals or stocks. A house should be a safe haven, not an exhibition of status. Living in a modest space keeps your fixed costs at a minimum. When fixed costs are low, you have massive psychological power. You no longer live in fear of job loss or economic shifts. Stealth wealth lets you own a normal house but maintain an extraordinary balance. This is the biggest secret of people who get rich fast without anyone knowing. Most people, when they get a promotion or an unexpected bonus, immediately upgrade their lifestyle. They move to a nicer apartment or buy more expensive clothes. This is the lifestyle creep trap. It's like a hedonic treadmill. The more money you make, running faster, the faster the machine spins to spend that money, and eventually, you're still standing in the exact same place in terms of net worth. Let's say your income jumps by $1,500 a month after a raise. Instead of changing your spending habits, execute a lifestyle freeze. Keep living on your old salary from last year. That extra $18,000 a year, if invested consistently at a 9% return, will turn into over $1 million in about 20 years. Freezing your lifestyle helps you create the gap, the growing distance between income and expenses. Real wealth isn't defined by how much you make, but by the width of that gap. You still look the same to your friends and colleagues, but under the surface, your financial engine is running at jet speeds. This is how you become a millionaire as quietly as possible. In the modern digital age, we're being attacked by a new kind of parasite, recurring subscriptions. $10 for movies, $12 for music, $15 for design software, $25 for a club membership. They're designed to be small enough that you don't care, but they accumulate to drain your wallet systematically. Open your banking app and check your statements from the last 3 months. You'll be shocked to see those $5 and $10 charges for services you don't even remember using. The total can easily hit $300 to $500 a month for a middle-class family. If you cut the junk and invest that cash in an index fund, after 30 years, you're sitting on enough money to retire early. Quietly wealthy people are hypersensitive to recurring costs. They understand that a small leak can sink a massive ship. Do a wallet purge every quarter. If you haven't used a service at least 4 times in the past month, kill it immediately. Don't let pennies steal your future. If someone promises you a new crypto will moon 50 times in a week, or a secret stock is about to explode, hold your wallet tight and run. Flashy, exciting investments are usually where the poor and middle class lose all their hard-earned money. Real wealth building is usually incredibly boring. It's about buying index funds or ETFs that track the entire market. Why are they boring? Because they don't have crazy charts dancing every minute, and there aren't sensational news headlines every hour. It's just owning a tiny slice of the hundreds of best companies in the world and letting time do the work. Warren Buffett, the investing legend, once made a famous $1 million bet against the smartest hedge fund managers on Wall Street. He claimed a cheap index fund, like the S&P 500, would beat the experts picking individual stocks after 10 years. The result? Buffett won by a landslide. The boring index fund crushed the most brilliant minds. Investing shouldn't be a form of entertainment or a way to find thrills. If your heart rate spikes when checking your portfolio, you're gambling, not investing. Stealth wealth builders quietly dump money into index funds every month, whether the market is booming or panicking. They never talk stocks at dinner parties, but their net worth grows steadily for decades. Once you start accumulating real assets, a few houses, millions in stocks, you need a legal mask. Owning everything in your personal name makes you a walking target for frivolous lawsuits, scammers, or just nosy neighbors. Imagine a quiet millionaire who owns 3 rental properties. Instead of owning them personally, he sets up 3 different LLCs, limited liability companies, to hold each asset. When a nosy neighbor looks up property records, they only see names like Lakeside Properties LLC instead of his actual name. Using legal entities, LLCs, trusts, or family offices, helps separate your social self from your actual numbers. This doesn't just protect your assets from legal risk, it maintains your normal person lifestyle. You own everything, but you appear nowhere. This allows you to keep living a simple life without being bothered by people looking to profit off your success. Never rely on just one source of income, like your 9-to-5 paycheck. But at the same time, never go around bragging about your side hustles. Quiet millionaires always have streams of money flowing under the surface. During the day, you're a hardworking office employee wearing a simple shirt and eating a lunch you brought from home. But in the background, you're running an anonymous YouTube channel, owning a dividend-paying portfolio, or running an automated e-commerce site under a different brand name. These income sources flow into a separate bank account that even your closest coworker knows nothing about. Ghost income gives you a specific kind of energy. Quiet confidence. When you know you have other income streams that could cover your life for years, your attitude toward your main job changes completely. You're no longer scared of the boss or worried about layoffs. You work because you want to contribute, not because you're chained to a bill. This freedom is priceless, and it's best when only you know about it. Most people, when they do charity, want their name on a plaque or a shout-out on social media. This is often generosity for the sake of image building rather than actual help. Stealth wealth builders choose to give totally anonymously. Why? Because they want to help sincerely, not buy admiration or create debtors of gratitude. Giving publicly is also an announcement to the world that I have a lot of extra money, which attracts a flood of other requests that clutter your life. Imagine quietly paying the hospital bill for a stranger in need through a support fund, then walking away without leaving a name. That feeling of deep satisfaction and peace is 10,000 times greater than getting a trophy in front of a crowd. Anonymous giving keeps your ego in check. It reinforces the philosophy that money is a tool for positive change, not a weapon for showing off power or status. It protects your financial privacy while still contributing value to the community. This is real wealth, having the power to help without needing recognition. You can never be truly wealthy if your mind is always clouded by fear. Fear is the #1 enemy of sound financial decisions. That's why you need a rock-solid emergency fund, at least 6 to 12 months of living expenses. Compare the mindsets of 2 people. Person A only has $500 in savings. If the car breaks down, it's a disaster that forces them to swipe a credit card at 25% interest. Person B has $40,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account. When the car breaks, it's a minor inconvenience. They calmly pay the bill and move on with their day without a second of stress. An emergency fund isn't just savings, it's peace of mind money. When you have a massive financial buffer, you radiate an energy of confidence and calm. People around you will see you stay cool during economic shifts, but they'll never know that calm comes from a secret treasure you've been building for years. This preparation allows you to keep your normal person mask on, even during the toughest times. To stay invisible in a nosy society, you have to be a master at navigating money conversations. Never act like you know too much about expensive investments or luxury living when you're around people who aren't on the same path. When a coworker complains about gas prices or the electric bill being too high, never say, "Oh, I don't really care because my passive income covers it." Instead, nod along, "Yeah, my bill went up a ton this month too. Everything's getting so expensive lately." You aren't lying, prices rising is a fact, but you're creating rapport. Humans tend to feel comfortable around people who seem like them and share the same worries. By being selectively transparent about the small annoyances of life, you make yourself relatable and, most importantly, you don't trigger any jealousy. This is the ultimate protective layer for your privacy. You remain one of them in the eyes of the world, while in reality, you're living an extraordinary life. The biggest mistake of the newly rich is changing everything at once. Getting a new car, renovating the house, buying designer clothes, and taking a first-class trip all in the same year. This creates a status shock and attracts everyone's attention. Practice slow leaking. If you buy a new-to-you car this year, wait at least 3 years before doing a home renovation, and another 2 years before you start sending your kids to a better school. Spacing out large purchases helps you hide the actual growth rate of your wealth. People will just think, "Oh, after a few years of hard work, he finally upgraded his car." They see it as a normal progression for a normal worker. Meanwhile, your assets might have grown 5 or 10 times in reality. Keeping the pace of lifestyle change at least 3 times slower than the pace of wealth growth is the golden secret to keeping your wealth in the shadows forever. We've covered all 14 smart moves to build a financial empire in total silence. As you can see, building stealth wealth isn't about being cheap or living a miserable life. It's about prioritizing real freedom over the admiration of strangers. The world will always try to whisper or scream in your ear that you need to spend money to prove who you are. But the truth is, the most truly powerful and free people on this planet don't need to prove a thing to anyone. When you follow these 14 moves, you're building a life where you have all the choices. You work because you love it, you travel to see the world, and you help others out of pure kindness, all without the noise of an audience or fake likes on social media. Imagine 10 or 15 years from now, waking up in a cozy home, driving a reliable car, and looking just as simple as you do today. But on the inside, you know you've won the money game. You have an account big enough that you never have to bow down to anyone or do anything you hate. People will still see you as a normal person, but you'll have a level of peace and freedom that most people only see in their wildest dreams. Start today with the smallest thing. Cancel a junk subscription. Set up your first auto transfer to a boring index fund. And most importantly, keep your numbers as your own sacred secret. If this video gave you a new perspective on your financial journey, give me a like and share this with a friend you actually trust. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next smart strategies on money and lifestyle. I'm Max from Max Invests. I'm here to create easy-to-understand animated videos about personal finance, investing, wealth building, and financial freedom. Whether you're just starting your investing journey or looking to build long-term wealth, this channel will help you. Understand investing for beginners, build passive income streams, manage debt wisely, master money management, plan for retirement, improve your financial mindset. No hype, no complicated jargon, just practical financial education you can actually use. Thanks for sticking with me until the very end. Build wealth quietly, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.